Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, ladies? What's up?
Hey.
Oh, my God. This is going to be a great conversation. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize what? Your money.
Money.
So, listen, ladies. I don't know if y'all know, but today we're talking about love. We're talking about money and the modern wedding industry. Now, I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if you guys knew this before today. I don't know if y'all even cared about this, but the average wedding now costs a jaw-dropping $35,000. And that is before the honeymoon. Between viral aesthetics, influencer pressure, and luxury expectations, all these broke-ass couples, I'm just kidding, all these couples are spending more than ever for a 6-hour event. Weddings have become more about production than partnership. We'll talk about whether this is a celebration of love, a display of legacy, or just another competition for likes on the gram. Is it worth it? Or have we lost the meaning of marriage in the process? But before we get into the conversation, we have some of the most dynamic women in the world with us today to have this discussion. We have 2 women who aren't married and 1 woman who is, but I've been married before and I've had a wedding. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. First, we have Miss Shalay Camillo. She is the CEO of Vital Realty Source in Boston.
Vital Source Realty.
Vital, what I say?
Vital Realty Source. That's okay.
Crazy shit.
Where's that?
Vital Source Realty in Beantown, Boston, Massachusetts.
Yes. Hey, ladies. How are you?
What's up, girl? How you been?
I'm all right. I'm recovering.
Oh, okay. I hope you feel better. Hope you have speedy recovery. And then we also have Miss Aisha Verzi. She is a financial services expert, and she's going to be, we're going to be talking about all things finance, mindset. And then we're going to have somebody else come on a little bit later, Miss Black Hollywood. She'll be on a little bit. She got to get her shit together. But I want to say shout out to all the people in the chat, all the folks in the chat. You know, Washetta came on with us live yesterday. On my show, I have people coming on with me live, and Washetta came on there. We was talking about D'Angelo. But where are you guys in the chat? Let's take a poll. Who in the chat has been married? And who has had a big wedding? Anybody in the chat have a big wedding, like a large wedding that cost say more than $10,000? Anybody in the chat had a wedding, paid more than $10,000? That's what I want to know. And what was the thought process? Because today weddings are $35,000. Now, let me ask you guys a question. I'm going to ask you, Shalay, did you, when you were a kid, did you have that dream of being a princess and having this big, beautiful wedding?
Yeah, on and off. Yeah, I did. You know, you watch the Disney movies and you're like, oh, someday my prince will come. And then you know, the carriage with the pumpkin, turning into a pumpkin at midnight and stuff. So yeah, on and off I did. And I want to know how much you spent on your wedding, Constance.
That's a good question. I'll tell you in a minute. Aisha, what about you? Did you have this dream of having a big wedding?
No, it's not something I thought about. I knew I was going to get married one day, but I didn't think about how big it was going to be. No, just I was going to get married. That I knew.
Where did you get married at? Or did you get married in Nigeria?
Both. I did California and Nigeria.
Did your family give your husband's family goats?
He had to pay a dowry. Yeah,
They did have to pay a dowry.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all
So,
right, rich
but
people
we did
shit.
both. It was in California and Nigeria. For California first, we had a wedding at the Catholic Church, St. Philip's in Pasadena. Everything was done in Pasadena. So that was 22 years ago. We did that. And then we went to Nigeria and had a traditional Nigeria wedding.
Okay, very nice. So I got married in 98, in 1998. I think I was 23 years old. And I never, ever, ever thought about a wedding.
Mm.
I never thought about the big wedding. That was never my dream. I was a cross between a tomboy and a tomgirl. So that was just like, so when I was in elementary school, kids used to argue, I was popular, kids used to argue, the boys used to say, she likes Tonka trucks, and the girls would say, no, she likes Barbies. So they didn't know, it's like I wasn't her. And to be honest with you, the guy who married us, he passed away, but he wanted us to have a big wedding, and we was like, we just want to go. We'll just go down to the Justice of the Peace. Won't you go ahead and sign this paperwork for us, and we'll just go on down there and just. And he was like, no, I want to have something nice for you. So we ended up having it at his it was beautiful too. It ended up being beautiful. It ended up like just all coming together. But I want to say we spent $500 on it. And even back then, at 23 years old, I was really focused on buying a house. I mean, I bought the house next. So that's where my mind was focused on is I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on a wedding. I want to buy a house, and I wanted to travel. We didn't do that part. We ended up getting pregnant shortly after that, but that was never my dream. So even if I got married again, unless he's a billionaire or cajillionaire, I don't. But I just ain't into that type of thing. That's my thing. Miss Black Hollywood, we were talking before you came on here, and I was asking them if they ever had the dream when they were like children to have the big wedding. Did you have that dream?
I don't even know if I had a dream to get married. Like I just hadn't been the girl that's just like get to be like swept off my feet. Like just that whole idea of what's we see on television or the way we're programmed as kids. I don't even know if I even considered all of that. But I think as of now, I think I'm like a cross between a courtyard girl and maybe like a small church girl. Like let's go and and express our vows, like have a big stupid party afterwards and just kind of have a good time.
Okay, so then that's my question to you, Shalay. So at this point, when you do get married, or do you want to have the big wedding, or what are your thoughts? And don't feel shame. I mean, if you want to have $1 million wedding, listen.
Nah. No, I don't want to. Like you said, unless he's a cajillionaire, like go ahead, like you're worse, please.
Right.
But other than that, like I'd rather spend the money on what's some assets that we can, work up here, or like a really, really nice vacation. But I really don't see myself having this huge wedding, 200 guests. I like to keep it now where I am now, just like intimate, pretty cute, fun with people who you really like and who really like you, and not the whole, long guest list.
Yeah.
Constance, I think most people start out like that. When I did research for this show, I think everybody was just like, I just want to do a little something. It doesn't have to be big. Well, I mean, that's when I went down the rabbit hole. I mean, I didn't pull a lot of videos like that. I have different perspectives, but I think most people start off like, I don't know. Let's just either you're like Bridezilla, like you want all the things, or you're just like, let's keep it simple. But before you know it, you've spent $60,000. Before you're like, oh, I didn't even know this was this expensive.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
I just went to a good girlfriend's wedding. I went to California last week, and she had to spend like $50,000 on it. And I was talking to my friend. Anyway, I think the husband was a former gangster.
Oh.
So he had like friends who came down in wheelchairs. Like I think they had been paralyzed or something. And I just want to let you hear the song he came down and let you hear it.
It's Constance with these stories. I don't know where she came from. It's Constance who she is. Constance is like it's so different from who Constance. She'd be like,
There
I
it
think
goes.
they were
This is the
gangsters.
song he came down in.
Okay.
Not the pimp of the year.
I mean, I might come out in this though. Hold on, whoa. As a New Orleanian, I might come down in my wedding to there. I like that. We can't wait a minute now. Listen, that's appropriate.
Let me tell you something. It was beautiful. It was in a country club,
Oh,
golf course. She had everything you could think of. She had fans for the people. She had umbrellas, and it was just so beautiful. But the people were so gangsta. And when the groomsman came down in a wheelchair because he had been shot, I was like, okay, you know what? Everybody need love.
Gangsters need love too.
Gangsters need love too, boo.
Where's the song at? Cue that song. Gangsters need love too.
That's hilarious.
Before, and I tell no lies.
The Boys in the Hood clip.
Before we and he pimp walk all the way down the aisle. You heard me. He pimp walk all the way down.
Are they from New Orleans?
I don't know.
Sounds very New Orleans. Go
Maybe,
ahead.
perhaps. Maybe your husband is.
Okay.
But before we get into the first video, I want to go to a break, and then let's get into the first video and talk about it.
Okay, y'all got to tell me where you're going with these things. All right, here we go.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So no.
The average marriage in America costs $35,000, and they only go for about 6 hours from start to finish. But the planning in a marriage goes on for months before this even kicks off. So a lot of people in the comments have been saying that this is a down payment on a home, that this is a brand new Tesla, that this would pay for 2 children to be put through a decent college in the United States for 4 years, bachelor degree. Now, are we that vain in the United States where we need to spend, this is average, mind you, most marriages, people are spending well over $100,000 taking out loans. People will go into debt to present a beautiful wedding to their loved one. Some people are paying off debts of loans for a wedding even after they get divorced. I think it's a bit expensive to spend $35,000 on a wedding, but I mean, weddings are beautiful, so I would probably spend that or more on a wedding, a decent wedding. Weddings are beautiful. If you've ever been to one, I think it's worth the money.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you guys, do you guys think it's worth the money, Ms. Black Hollywood? Do you think it's worth the money?
The responsible part of me wants to say no, but then, I think we all deserve nice things. So maybe I'm right there in the middle. I can't decide. Like, the responsible part of me is like, yes. Maybe it's the Gemini. One is like, no, we're not going to do that. The other one is like, I want to be on a boat and get married on the coast on the Mediterranean seas of, like.
I mean, if you married a billionaire, all that. But if you struggling, if you eating oodles and noodles and you trying to keep your lights on, that's not the responsible. Listen, right now, I need a new roof on my house. Okay. Every time I think about making a frivolous purchase, I be like, yo ass need a new roof.
Yes, I guess so it depends, right? Because it does depend. Are you broke and eating oodles of noodles, or do you have like money, like discretionary money sitting aside that you can do
Right.
that?
Some people could do it. Everybody can't.
That's
Yeah.
right.
What do you think, Aisha? Do you think it's the responsible thing? Do you think?
I think it depends. Like everybody's saying, it depends on the situation. Like if you need a roof and you know that you're going to fix something, then you want to, kind of come in the middle. But if you have the money, you've saved for it, but you're not going crazy saving for it. It's more like a natural savings because you know you're going to have a wedding. Then that's fine. Because when I got married, we paid cash. We didn't. Or we everything was paid cash. It was for money that was already saved specifically for the wedding, because marriages are important. Yeah, the wedding is a day, but your marriage for the rest of your life, and that's also a memory you carry with you forever, right? You can't redo that. You can you do that one time. Well, that's how I feel about it. You cannot redo it, so you want to do the best you can with what you have at that time, and as long as you're not becoming over dramatized or stressed out and anxiety, then it's good if you can afford it, where it's really what you've planned for, you're ready for it. And I will do it because the price of goods and right now and services are expensive. So to me, with the cost of things right now, the price doesn't seem outrageous to me if you're prepared for it, right? So that's
Shalay,
what
Shalay, if you're renting an apartment,
I was just look.
It's the
You
live.
probably
Like,
saw
I
me
need to know.
No.
No?
Okay. No. Okay. This reminds me of something. I had a client. Let me be okay. So I had a client, and her boyfriend purchased the home. She was the driver behind it. Like they're purchasing separately. I'm like, y'all do this before you get married. You buy a house and he buy a house. He purchased the first home. It was a multifamily. It was great. And I was like, okay, now it's your turn. You got to do this. She's like, I want my wedding first. I said, no. Do not do that. Do not do that. That is a down payment for your second home. Do it after you have the home. Don't do that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm mad. Don't do that. If you're living in an apartment, no, you're not allowed to spend $35,000 on a wedding. Unless that you just live a high life in an apartment and you want to be renting and you're doing it because it's your choice. But no, don't do that.
You can't put you can't put your house on credit. So they like, let me just put it on my credit card and pay it off over the course of like 5 years or whatever.
25 years.
25 years. 25 years. Oof.
But actually, when I heard 35,000, I actually thought the average was more than that. Just from what I see on Instagram, I was like, oh, just 35,000. Not that that's like chump change, but I thought the average was more than that. But I was just thinking, my baby sister got married in 2011. I think they spent like 20 to 25,000 on that in 2011. So maybe that is like the average, with inflation. Maybe that's just like the average to get in. Like, what can we get for 35,000? Do we have any examples of what that looks like?
Yep.
And but I just think about when I go to weddings like this, and I think about all the waste, all the little details that don't nobody give a damn about.
Yeah, nobody cares about those for sure.
Nobody cares. You're doing all the little trinkets and shit. My shit was in the car or it gets thrown away or whatever. It's like nobody cares about all these things, and it's beautiful. But you're spending all this time and effort and energy. To me, it kind of reminds me of the people who will spend $20,000 or $30,000 on proms for their children.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And I think, but I want to know statistically, are white people paying the same amount as Black people? Is this across the board? Are we spending more? Do you have any research or any statistics?
You know what? Before the end of the show, I'll pull those stats for you, but I don't have them right now. We do have stats, but we don't have those specific stats.
Okay, Aisha, if you in an apartment, should you be paying $35,000 on a wedding?
No. If you have an apartment and the next best thing is to get a home, I won't be spending all that money on a wedding. Instead, I'll do half and half. Get paid for the house and then use a portion of the money for my wedding so that I can have something. But again, you just have to be wise about it. Sometimes people just do things because others are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Today, because of social media, oh, she has this. The flowers were cascading from the sky, and this, and there was a white horse that came through. Who cares about all those things? Like, I don't care about any of those things.
It's just
I
for
just want-
pictures.
Yeah, so sometimes I think that's what gets people into trouble. Like you see all the little trinkets that nobody cares about. They carry it, they forget it in their car, but you want it because it looks beautiful. And I think it's all about, again, perspective and what do you want, and what are you thinking about, right? And making sure that you align yourself with the goals that will give you assets and also the joy that you're seeking, right? But not just because somebody else does it, you want to do it too.
You know, but think about this. Like when you watch, I've watched a couple of episodes of Bridezilla, right? And you think about it's aesthetically beautiful, but all the things, it's kind of like that beautiful swan that's going across the lake, and then their feet are just doing all this all that stress and hell, and it is just a nightmare behind the scenes.
Right.
Just so aesthetically, and the wedding is not even for you; it's for everybody else.
Mhm.
And you spend all this money for everyone else.
Yeah.
Imagine
A
that.
lot of times it's validation.
Yeah.
Like, especially in today's day and age where everything is about comparing what you're doing with what everyone else is doing, and you knowing that other people are comparing your wedding to your cousin's wedding who just had a wedding last year, whatever. I think it's a lot of it is about validation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Well, let's look at the next video and let's talk more about, let's get into more. Stop. But watch this. Stop trying to be other people. Be yourself. All you got to do.
$35K for 35 people does sound like a lot until you actually get into wedding planning. Like, everything is just so expensive, especially in this economy. We knew that because we were having a small wedding, that we could have a big budget and get exactly what we want. That means I'm getting the dress that I want, not a dress I have to budget for. He's getting a suit that he wants. We didn't have a reception, so we took all of our guests to a very nice, expensive restaurant. So that was like a big chunk of it too. We didn't want to go cheap on the decor. I wasn't DIYing anything. We wanted the best of the best. Literally, our experience was so seamless. I don't even think we really had to do anything. Our planner did everything. So the money that we spent was well spent. Like, I had no complaints.
When paying that much for a wedding, you got to take into account a lot of things, like how much a suit costs, the venue, decorations, the cake, rental car, if you wanted to do that, transportation for everybody. So we factor in stuff like that, but not everybody does that. So
if you think about it, if we would have had the type of wedding that we had with the decor and everything that we wanted, like our vision for what our wedding day was going to be with 100+ guests, that would have easily cost us over $200,000.
it's very possible for a wedding to be $35K, easy $50K.
Our wedding day was everything that I could have imagined it to be. Especially because, growing up, like as a girl, you think about how your wedding day is going to be this big, extravagant day. And because now, we wanted to have a smaller wedding, I still felt like I got that.
It's definitely money well spent for me. Quick, but it was worth it.
I know he's happy that I wasn't like, yeah, I want a big wedding. Like I said, we have friends that are spending like $300K, $500K. That was not gonna be us. I'm still happy that we were able to get everything that we wanted. Can't wait to share the pictures.
So are their friends CEOs? How are they friends got $300,000 to spend on a wedding?
Wow.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
That's wasteful. Like
35 people, 35,000. Wow.
Think about this too. It's 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then you tired of shit. I'm an introvert, so I would be overwhelmed. I would be tired. I would want to be leaving early. Like this is a lot. Just
not leave your own wedding early. I want to leave
I
early.
would.
I left my wedding early. I'm like Constance. I left early. I'm like, I'm tired.
Did you?
Yes. Like I'm
Wow.
tired. I left at 10 o'clock. I'm tired. I'm like, oh my God, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Shalay. Why do you think people feel pressured to pay that kind of money for weddings?
I think, again, it's all validation in the comparison, this illusion that we all have to be keeping up with the Joneses and the comparison of what I'm doing against what someone else is doing. I think that's probably, in this day and age, is probably about 70% of it. I get that a portion of it and a large part of it may be that is your dream and that's what you want. I actually think that the couple that just spoke, maybe they went about it the right way. Like, okay, I know I want all the bells and whistles, so we're going to keep this guest list of 35 people. Because I know what I want it to look like. I know what I want the experience to be. So we can't have everybody here. And I think that it ain't tricking if you got it. If they had that money to do it, for 35 people and they're not going in debt to do it, great. But I think that we're so desensitized, about going into debt. We're desensitized, like just swipe the card. We all are about a lot of different things, not just weddings too. So I just think it's like the way that our society is here, especially I think it's in the US.
Yeah. Tiara, what do you think? Why do you think people feel so pressured?
I definitely think it's for the gram. I think it's television. I think it's marketing. I think it's, we're looking around. And although the internet is not a real place, people perceive it as a real place. So it's like, dang, if they got it, if they can do it, I could do it. I don't know. Or that whole keeping up with the Joneses. But the math doesn't math when it comes to the internet, right? Like most people, when I look at statistics, I look at statistics every single day because we produce this show. And so I know that the majority of people are living from paycheck to paycheck. So the math doesn't make sense to me, Constance. Like, I just feel like we are drowning. I wouldn't be surprised if that couple, even though they're like, I don't regret a thing. And they won't probably regret a thing, but they'll probably be paying for that wedding until they die. They didn't include that though. So we don't know what those things are. They're just like, it's great. We don't get that. It's like for the next 20 years, we might have to pay that balance down, but that's okay. He and I are doing it together or whatever. I just think that sometimes we leave out those things and we just play the highlights. So
I think the cost of weddings, they probably outpace some of the marriages themselves.
That part right there.
That's the same.
Well, Aisha, as a financial analyst though, and you see finances being the number one reason why people break up. And then they're going into these marriages with all of this debt. What does that do for a couple?
The anxiety enough it's crazy, right? You're starting your life with anxiety. That is if you don't have the money and you swipe the card to keep purchasing and thinking, oh, we'll take care of it later. No. Like Shale was saying earlier, no, if I have the privilege to look at their finances and because we always ask the client, is there any big change in your life coming up soon so that we can give you better advice? It's, oh yeah, we're getting married. Then I say, well, then you can't do that, right? You just can't. So we have to do the analysis to find out where you're at, where you're going. We ask you 5 years from now, 2 years from now, is there anything big changing? Are you getting married? Are you moving? Are you buying a home? All these things matter. And if I hear that from a client, I say, look, listen, I know you want to have this incredible wedding and everything, but based on what you have here, if you do this, you are going to be living anxiety life for the next 10 years. Is that what you want? Or do you want to be happy and have really a happy life where you come home, you feel good about what you're doing rather than having all this stress over your head for 10 years just because you want to have one day? Yeah. Wedding is one day. Your marriage is a lifetime. You're fighting with your husband now because there's no money for this, no money for that, because you paid for this. Or no. So the advice
with problems, with issues.
Yeah.
That you could avoid it. Yeah. And have you guys heard about those people who are making their guests pay for a portion of their wedding? What do you think about that?
I've heard that. That's crazy. No, I'm not going to go to your wedding.
I wasn't on when Aisha was talking about Nigerian weddings, but I low-key want a Nigerian wedding, right? I went and they wear this beautiful garb, they throw money, they like it's lit, right? So you walk into the situation like receiving, like there's a dowry, like I want all of the things.
There's
like,
a dowry,
bring me a goat. Bring me a goat, bring me a
You
cow,
don't get the dowry. Your family pays the dowry.
Your family gets the dowry.
His family gets the dowry.
My family, right?
Your family.
Her family. Okay.
Yeah, his family has to pay, right?
Exactly.
Yes, like my family got the dowry. My family gets the dowry. And that's because in case something happens and she has to go back home, then that money is there to care for her when she comes home. So
that's what I'm saying, y'all. So
but you know what though? I will say at them Nigerian weddings, some people be on the mic all night. I'm like, shut the hell! Please let the people sing the songs. You ever noticed? Why they do that?
I don't know. That is not something that we do back home. We don't do that back home. That's all.
They do it here.
No, yeah. Back
You
home
ever
is
seen
not
that,
like
Aisha?
No.
You ever seen that? They be on the mic all damn night.
So I want to know. So you asked though, in all seriousness, you asked if I saw people paying for weddings to go to weddings, and it's like you coming and eating. That plate costs $100 a piece, right? You'll go to I wonder if there's a difference between going to somebody's wedding and going to like a corporate dinner where you have to buy a table or buy a plate or whatever. I mean, I would do that for my family member. Just if I can keep them out of debt, it's like $100 a plate. I'll come through. That's my support to you. That's my support, and I might bring a gift because whatever. Just don't ask me to be the bridesmaid or anything like that, right? And I'll bring it.
Tara, that's a good point, Tara, because in my culture as well, other culture, the money that they're giving is for that reason. You're not like obligated, but that's the reason. Families give you envelopes with money so that you can offset the cost of the wedding. So that's why you see the spraying of the money. They come with bundles of money spraying it because they're giving the couple all this money so that they can offset the cost of the wedding.
I love that.
Now that's community, right?
Yes.
Community.
Yeah, I think,
and we understand that very well, so we do that.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Aisha about the dowry. So in this day and age, I know y'all had like joked about the goats, right? But in this day and age, like what does a man's family bring to the table for a dowry? Like what is like is it money? Is it property? Is it a car?
It's both. It depends on the capacity of the groom. If the groom is wealthy, then it matches what he's bringing. Like he already starts preparing for the wedding a long time ago. So his mother already starts buying outfit for the wife. Okay, I'll just tell you my culture. They start like she will fill suitcase of clothing, our traditional clothing, one for clothing, one for undergarments, jewelry, already set already, so that when she gets married, all this is given to her as a gift, and then the money is given to the father to keep. Again, if she has to go home for one reason or the other, then there's money to care for her. Right? Because they feel they've raised this girl to be given to you as your wife, then now this is a way for you to continue to protect her and take care of her over time. But the cost depends on the person's capacity. If you're a rich man, maybe traditionally, if you're an average guy, you might bring a suitcase of clothing and then one more for jewelry and undergarment. But if you're wealthy, you might bring 10 suitcases of clothing, and right. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it just matches depending on the person. But it's the same across the board, and it's something that families do with such joy and expectation, because it's a big deal when you get married. It's communal. Everybody comes together. They actually see what they brought. It's, oh my God, look at the fabric they bought for her. And it is sealed and it's closed for that day, and it's presented to her and her family. So yeah.
Can you imagine if American men had to do that? Like I saw, and I hate that she's not here today, but Noma Lenga just got married, and she invited me to her dowry in Botswana.
Wait, she just got married?
Yeah, she got married. She got married a couple months ago.
Noma Lenga did? I thought she was already married.
I'll let Noma Lenga explain her life, right? Like, it's right. But anyway, so she got married. She had a ceremony, so she had a dowry and all of that. But it looked like 10 days in a row, it was like a parade of like everybody was dressed the same. Like it was like 100 people marching down a road. I was like, where are y'all going? Like it was just so majestic. Really,
it is
like, royal.
It's a big deal.
I think we should do that in America. Really, I think. Listen. If Tyrone had to pay a dowry, he would be a little bit more serious about marrying you.
And honestly, that's true. That's the whole point. You see that what you've had to put up to do this, so you have to think really clearly before you say, "I want to separate a person."
This is something that I really, really want to do. Let's take a look at this next video.
Okay, let's do that.
How much would you spend on the wedding of your dreams? When my husband and I first started planning for our wedding, we had no budget. But not because we had no budget, because we had no idea how much weddings actually cost. Our first few months, we just enjoyed our engagement and put out a few fillers. We had no clue what kind of wedding we wanted to have, where we wanted to have it, who we wanted to invite, what colors, just nothing. Nothing about the dress, nothing. It's not something that I don't think either of us expected to do. And it was the first in both of our families. So we didn't really have any references for how weddings went. However, I'm a tourist. So usually when I want to gauge something, I go to the top and then I work my way down. I do not start from a practical place. So I saw someone had a wedding at the Biltmore, a place I had never been before. And then I went to go see how much would it cost to do that. My mouth dropped and I was flabbergasted that it was starting around 100 to 125,000 for a wedding. And that number frustrated me. It was really upsetting to me, my homegirl, that the only place that I thought would be nice for our wedding was a number I couldn't fathom actually spending. It made me feel broke. And when I feel broke, I fight back. You know, some people get disappointed or say, you know what, it's not for me, or they don't even try. But that's not me at all. If I see something, I'm going to get it. Of course, we did not get married at the Biltmore. It actually was not our aesthetic. And by that time, we had found our wedding planner, Demetrius, who had put together in our heads just the idea of an incredible wedding weekend, something that was uniquely ours. So after about a year of saving, we got the wedding of our dreams. No credit cards, no debts, no help from anyone else, just paying one invoice at a time. So how much would you spend?
Would you, any of you guys? I mean, it's beautiful. I intend, but I ain't doing it. I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
I
a
mean,
lot of
kudos to
money.
no debt.
Right, right.
I mean, but they didn't mention whether or not they like bought a house or, you know what I'm saying? Like that. They probably didn't spend 125, but probably like 75, right?
Maybe
That
that's
was my least.
so she had a friend do it for her at a better price. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go. I'd attend. I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's beautiful though. It's beautiful, but
Did you hear what she said though? She was like, I walked in and honestly, I felt broke. And so I don't like that. So when I feel broke, I fight. Like,
okay, right.
It's
what
the
was going
language
on
for me. It's
Yes.
the language. It's like I felt broke. Sis, you was broke for that. Like you was. Like you didn't have it. You didn't have it. And so she was like, most people they get down on themselves, but I fight. I mean, hopefully she's fighting for her future like
She
that.
is.
Yes, I was gonna say
They
that.
are living in a car right now, and they don't have anything to eat.
And that's the validation piece. She felt broke, so she had to overcome that by doing this big extravagant thing that made her feel better. It's about we need to get more in tune with our own self-esteem and self-worth so that we don't have to do that in order to not feel less than.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Look, let me ask you: do you think people value marriage more, or the ceremony more than the marriage? Because that's what it seems like. It seems like people put more stock into
the wedding
day than the
than the marriage.
I think I've got stories, y'all. I've heard stories from people. I got this story of this guy that I know, right? They spent this, they brought their whole family over to an island. They paid for everything, brought their whole family over to an island and had this beautiful wedding. He knew that he didn't want to get married to this woman. Like he loved her, but he was like, she's not the one. And he did it anyway. And they're divorced. And
how long did it take? How long? How long? How long were they married?
Oh, how long? I think 5 years.
So let me ask you guys, would you, say that the wedding, you paid $100,000 for this wedding and everything is beautiful, everything is set, people are on the way, and either you found out something about your groom, or you just, in your heart of hearts, you just knew he wasn't the one. Would you go through with it?
Ooh, that's some Lifetime movie stuff.
Why would you even get to that point? Why? Why would you even do that? Like, why would anybody even do that? If you know you don't want to marry someone, why would you go through all that? No.
Well, I think that it can be more nuanced in the moment, because if you're having those thoughts, you might think, well, maybe this is just nerves. Maybe I'm having cold feet. You've already done all of these things. You can't get this money back. And I do love this person. Maybe I'm confusing myself. I can see how someone could be in that position at that moment and question it. But that just means that you have not done the work in the relationship.
Exactly. You haven't done the work yet to be getting married. So see, for me as a Catholic, we have to go to a weekend called engagement encounter. And that time you are asked tough questions tough questions. You have couples that have been married for like 5 years or less, and then couples that have been married for maybe 15 years, and then couples that are married for 30 years. So you have all this different category of couples, and then they tell you the experience, right? So the newly married couple, the mid, and the ones that have been married for many years. So then you can really hear about the things that could happen, right? And they even tell you during this class that if you're not ready, do not go through with it. And let me tell you, during that entire weekend, people leave. They start leaving one at a time because the commitment that you've been told that you have to live with, it's huge. So you don't get to the point where now the day has come, you're done in yourself. Like you should have done that before. You shouldn't have to pay all this and then now you're doubting. It means you didn't do the groundwork before you started doing it. So that can help, I guess. But as Catholic, that's what we had to go through. So to be able to say, okay, yes, I do. Now let's plan a wedding.
Yeah.
I think we're taught to, if I can just add that, I think we're also taught to be like, well, the person isn't perfect. And, there's some things that you got to settle for. It's 80-20. And sometimes people sacrifice themselves for things that they don't like in their partner. I also feel like sometimes people don't have the balls to say like, no. If somebody get on their knee in front of a large crowd, sometimes people, I don't think women be like, yeah, there was like one video of a girl that said no in front of everybody. Did y'all see that video a long time ago?
Yeah.
He was like, will you marry me? She was like, no. And he got up and everybody was like, but I feel like if more people kind of lived in that truth.
She could have
saved it's embarrassing though.
She could have saved his ego for that moment and then told him no later.
That's a good point.
But
that goes back to the marriage thing. Well, let me just try.
I'm if I paid all that money, we're gonna have this damn ceremony. I'm gonna tell the pastor who I'm gonna say, hold up don't send the certificate off yet. Let me hold on to that for more a minute. I need a little bit of time before I can make a decision to if we're gonna process this thing or not. So I would probably go through with it if I didn't pay all this money. Everybody's here. I'm gonna go through with it. But I'm gonna say, Pastor, don't sign it. Let me hold this license, and we just gonna sit on this for a minute so I can make a determination if I really want to go through with it. You can do that,
like graduation, like your graduation.
Yeah, you can. So they have to sign. They have to sign a certificate and send it in for it to be, processed. And I just say, let me hold on to that. Don't sign nothing, and let me just hold on to it for a minute. And then I'll decide if I want to go ahead and send it off. I mean,
if you feel like that, don't do it.
$100,000. You $100,000 in.
But how do we get to that? Right, just have a party. How do we get to that point with you feeling like that?
No.
Yeah. Right. I'm just saying something may have happened or whatever, and you just decided at that moment, But I mean, or the party, right? But we're not gonna let all this money go to waste. I tell you that,
because you can't get those deposits back.
No, it's gonna be the best night of our lives.
All night, we just gonna dance the night away and wake up.
Right.
We'll talk in the morning.
That was our breakup. That was our breakup party.
I think do the tough work before you get married. Do the tough work. Ask the tough questions before you get married, man. Don't just start. Do the tough things behind the scenes, man. Don't do it if you're not ready.
Man. I agree.
Let's go to this next video.
Oh, okay. You don't want a commercial. Got it. Okay, here we go.
Oh, or commercial.
Or commercial. Whatever we do. All right.
Oh, that'll do it. You don't have to worry about.
No. As someone who does actually have a very large wedding budget, that is still one of the meanest videos I have ever seen on this app. As a current bride, I know how extremely expensive it is to get married in the US right now, but to have some sort of elitism and make a mockery out of turning down any clients who don't want to pay more than $35,000 for their wedding is sickening. Just because you live in an expensive area does not mean that weddings under a certain budget are not feasible, and that is your job as a planner to help them. If you want to present yourself as a luxury wedding planner, that is also fine. But what we're not going to do is shame people for not being able to afford weddings. If your budget is under $35K, you are still allowed to have a wedding, and you should still be able to celebrate your marriage. There are so many more polite ways to get your point across without making people who have smaller budgets feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go to
Agree.
somebody who said that? Somebody said that they would go to somebody got married. I forget who it was, a drive-through in Vegas.
What do you mean a drive-through? Like a
Drive-through wedding.
The
They got,
Vegas, like Elvis wedding.
yeah, the drive-through
oh,
Elvis wedding. Would you
I've
guys do
heard
that?
that.
never. I'd go to City
Never.
Hall before I
Never.
do that. Never.
Suggested a piece.
That's so tacky.
Not a drive-through Elvis wedding, unless it
No?
was just like, like that feels like an experience. Like, man, remember we did that, like as for fun, like
Right.
to express my silliness,
That's
right?
different.
But
Yeah.
we got to have a little party or something. Like we got married in Vegas. We went to like we just did it, right? That kind
Right.
of thing.
Right.
But we gonna have a party or something afterwards. Like it can't
Yes.
just be like I'm standing next to a wax figure of Elvis, going like,
Right.
no.
Posing with him and stuff. Like,
This is my witness.
Right.
Like, no.
Right.
My-
An old
my-
lady. So let me ask you this for each of you. What would an intentional, meaningful wedding look like for you? What's your ideal wedding? I'll start with you, Aisha.
Ideal wedding, now that I know what I know, it would be just the way mine happened, where we did it for a little bit and introduced to my family and everyone that is important to me. And they have time to kind of gauge who this person is. And then, of course, we also went on the engagement encounter for the whole weekend, where you have other people that have been married, just married, again, the whole experience. And the priest they ask you tough questions, really, why you're there and what it means. So go through all that process, then make a decision at the weekend that you want to continue with this process. Then we did that. And then we, announced, and then we got everything set up. And our wedding to me till today was perfect, because everybody had a great time. And my husband was the one that paid for everything, because culturally, the husband to me pays for everything. So my bridesmaids, everybody, then my wedding, everything, he'd take care of everything. And everything was paid cash. We didn't owe anybody any money. It was all paid cash then. So we spent maybe almost 22 years ago, maybe $15,000, because my family wasn't here in America, so just his portion of his family and our friends. Then after that, again, we went back home, which that made me very happy. My father-in-law, my sister-in-laws, we all went back home to my country and had a traditional wedding there as well. So it was beautiful. So that to me is my ideal wedding. That everybody.
So you had your ideal wedding.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
That's beautiful. What about you, Shalay? What would your ideal wedding look like?
My ideal wedding, I would love a destination wedding where like my closest friends and family members would come, and it's small, no more than maybe 20, 30 people, because we got a lot of kids in my family. The kids got to come. My daughters are coming down the aisle, and I love this person. He loves me. He loves my children. My children love him. And it's just all love, and we just have a good time. That's my ideal.
That's good. What about you, Miss Black Hollywood?
I would say maybe like get a venue of some sort that's like a house or like a mansion of some sort, right? We can get that off like, it's something small, right? But not, and then just like really deck it out and make it really pretty. And then we just have this space where that feels like, if there's like a little, in my mind, I imagine like a little pool outside, like we got some food set up, like, a nice size place. And we enjoy ourselves. And then we get married, maybe in the middle of the living room, make a little situation. And then like afterwards, we have a party, baby. Like we just enjoy ourselves for the rest of the evening. We can even go to the morning in that space.
I love it.
That'd be
I would
dope.
say mine would be a cross between you and Shalay's. Like it would be maybe a destination. There will be no legal documents that need to be filed.
You want to make sure you do it offshore, right? So
we will have no legal documentation. This will be a spiritual wedding. But I would probably do a destination, of course, my children, his children. It will be just like filled with love, and then we go party. We go turn up afterwards. We're just gonna turn up, but it'll just be really beautiful and intimate and sacred and just amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. Just all the frills and all the details, and the cake has to be this, and the flowers got to be this, and we got it. Nah, that ain't never what I wanted. Let's go to this last commercial.
Oh, we gonna do both. We'll go to
Let's go to
commercial
video.
and then we'll go to
Oh,
commercial and
here's
then
the
we'll
video.
go to video.
Let's do it. All right.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
Listen, you don't have to do the IG wedding. I know it's easy to get caught up in the IG weddings that you see while planning. A lot of those weddings can be extremely expensive, and for some people, either it's not worth it or they just don't have the funds for it. The day is truly about sharing this moment, this bond with your person, with your family and friends. In my own opinion, I think the small and intimate weddings are even more beautiful than the larger ones. The glitz, the glamour, it looks beautiful on camera. It's an amazing experience. But those small, simplistic moments that's raw and genuine, those are just as memorable, if not more impactful. So while planning, don't get caught up into competing with the IG wedding or wanting to do something similar. Do exactly what fits best for you and your person.
All right. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that's what it all boils down to is what works best for you. I want to go into our final thoughts, and I want to ask you guys for your final thought, what advice would you give couples about money and marriage planning? And I'll start with you, Miss Aisha.
Marriage planning, wedding is a day. What is a day? Your marriage is for a lifetime. And my advice would be really just seek counsel, find somebody that you respect and love, and talk about what you're trying to do and where you're at, what you're trying to accomplish, because it's important to think about the future, not just one day that will pass very quickly and then now you have to deal with the consequence afterwards. But is it important to have a beautiful wedding? Yes, if you have the means and you think you can do it without drama and stress and anxiety, absolutely. I think everybody deserves to have that special day where they feel loved and respected with their family and friends and the one person that chose to marry them. And but just think about it as a lifelong relationship that you'll be together. So when you spend the money, it's something that would bring joy to you when you think about it, not anxiety and stress. So just get the right people around you to help you with that, because again, it takes the entire family and friends to help you get this done, and support them too. Give them money to help them offset the cost of the wedding if people you invite. But that's would be my advice, that just be mindful of what you're doing. Think about the years down the line, not just today only. And where can you find me? I'll be found at Dr. Boyce as the Black Business School as a coach. I help with financial advice and services. And then also you can reach me at aishaverzi.com.
All right, Miss Aisha. Thank you, darling. Appreciate it. Shalay, what would you say? What advice would you give couples about finances and planning a wedding?
Well, I agree with everything that Aisha said, and I've actually learned a lot from this conversation. I love the idea of a dowry and, a man or his family putting up funds. I like that idea. That's probably controversial in the US, but I like that idea. I also love the idea of, and I believe we call it marriage counseling, right? Definitely saying and talking to your partner about whether or not this is right for you, going through marriage counseling. So you don't get to that day and it's all about the day and not really about the marriage. Talk about what you really, really want from this relationship and the commitment first, and then talk about the day as a secondary thing. I think that also wedding days are presumably for the woman, but I think that it's important for the man to also feel like this is his day too. So I feel like we should prioritize what men want too, like out of that experience of that day. And all in all, I believe that we need to stay within our means. If we are in an apartment, if we're struggling financially, I would not advise like putting this stuff on credit cards and doing that type of thing. If you have the cash and you have the money and you have other savings and things to do the other life things that you're going to need to do within the marriage regarding your life, then go ahead and do it. But we need to be doing this within our means, right? So I'm Shalay Camilla with Vital Source Realty in Boston, Massachusetts, and I can help you buy or sell real estate anywhere in the United States and Canada. I can be reached at vitalsourcerealty.com, and y'all can follow me on IG at Shalay Camillo and YouTube at Shalay Camillo.
Listen, Shalay said, act your wage. I ain't mad at you, Shalay. Say what you weigh. I heard you loud and clear, sis. All right, Miss Black Hollywood, what advice would you give?
I would just say that the internet is not a real place. And before you're looking around and getting inspired by other people, understand that they are probably struggling and not sharing what they're really going through with you. So often we look at other couples and say, oh, those are couple goals. And, oh, I wish I could be like that couple. But you seriously have no idea what those people are going through or what they're enduring. That lady could be getting her butt whooped. The man could be getting abused by the woman emotionally. Like, you have no idea, because everybody is playing some type of role. I mean, I see it it's very similar to the entertainment industry. Everything is about aesthetic. So I just would say, be mindful of that as you're planning your own life. Real life isn't like that. So just like everyone has said, do what works for you and just make it all about you. Like me and my fiance, whenever I get
Let's
one.
speak that thing into existence, babe. Speak it into existence.
It's so funny. I'm not gonna keep, but I'm a studier of like marriage. Like I watch like couples therapy. Like I love stuff like that. Watching people have hard conversations. Like I read things that pertain to partnership. Like I make room for that in my life. And I think I'm just very aware of that. I'm not saying that I'm not going to get married. I'm just saying, like, I think the woman also has to be preparing herself, just like the man does. Like there's preparation. So you do the work too. And don't just come into the situation and then decide like, oh my God, let me do the work now. You should have been doing that. So yeah, that is my thoughts. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood and Karma J, just depending on the day. So I just want to remind you all that next week I am starting interviews for our Launch Lab. It is a program that I'm partnered with the Black Business School. We are taking 12 wannapreneurs and making them winners, making them entrepreneurs, start the new year with a new business. And so I'm so excited to coach and be a coach in the program. And we're going to get your branding together. We're going to get your business clarity together, your life together, so that you can walk into the new year with a new business. I would say you can go to MissBlackHollywood.com and schedule. There is a
Yesterday you said .net.
.net. Thank you. It's MissBlackHollywood.net. I'm sorry. Thank you, Constance.
I got you.
MissBlackHollywood.net. You can go there, but we are not completely set up because people have been like already emailing me about wanting to work with us even without me fully like launching it. I've just been incubating about this concept, but now I'm just putting it out. And I just really want to help people get started. So come on, holla at your girl. Scholarships are available to everybody that comes through the Black Business.
I better get it. New year, new business.
New business. Mm-hmm. New year, new business.
Not business.
Business.
Okay. Good stuff. Okay, so she said social media is not a real place. Dig that. I just say look at your finances, look at your situation, and really consider your where you want to be in the next 5 to 7 years in terms of investing. The marriage is going to be the thing that outlasts the wedding day. But I need you to look at what generational wealth looks like. And if that looks like you should maybe invest in a house or do something different, I would put my money into something that's going to grow. I'm always thinking that way. You know, I rented when I moved to the East Coast, I rented for 2 years. It took almost 8 months for me to, you know, get in my house. So it was really a year. I was trying to rent for a year. It took me almost 2 years to, you know, so where I rented. But I just looked at that, you know, paying all this amount of money. I think I paid almost $100,000 in rent for 2 years, or maybe over $100,000 for rent in 2 years. And I look at it as such a waste because I'm always thinking of ways that I can invest my money, that I can grow my money. Had I bought when I first came out here, that would have been money that would have gone to equity. You got to think like that. Don't look at the waste. Look at where your money's going to grow. You need to learn how to grow your money and not blow your money. And I would say that. Consider that. It's 2 o'clock. Who is in my house? Somebody is in my house.
Oh Lord.
It's the roof.
It's the
Right,
roof.
it might be the roof. The roof all in.
The roof is falling in.
My son ain't due to be home for an hour, so I don't know what the hell. Somebody in the refrigerator in there. Anyway,
You were saying
that is my son. What the hell is he doing?
Okay. Man. Thank God it's him and not like
a robber.
Right. Stay on camera.
I didn't know it was a refrigerator. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. So anyway, y'all listen, you guys can follow me anywhere. I am Constance Carter. All of my programs are on my website. I coach Black women from all over the world. And I help them to increase their net worth to over 7 figures. So if that's you and you want to do that for the new year, I would say get into it. Let's get into Net 7 Collective, Net 7 Nation, all the different things that I'm doing. I'm coming out with an ebook and all kind of other stuff that I've been working on. Keep following me. You're going to hear updates from what I'm doing out here in these streets. All right. We're going to see you tomorrow, though. We're going to see you tomorrow, the same bad time, same bad channel. So you guys make sure that you tune in to Fly Nubian Money on the Fly Nubian Queen Network. What? It is. We are.
The Fly Nubian.
It is the
Fly Nubian.
You said
Money,
on your commercial, you said
Queen.
the Fly Nubian Money
podcast
community. You said the. I heard you say the. I heard you say the the other day. You said the. No, you said.
I don't know.
You said the.
Put it on.
We love y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow.
I didn't know what to get you. You gave me my dream wedding, and it's hard to get you something that you already don't have. And since we're in Miami, I figured it's only fit for me to buy you a yacht.
Look at me, I'm about to be rich. I'm about to be rich. DJ play it again, like.
What the hell she do?